Napoleon crossing the Alps. I mean, that painting by Jacques-Louis David is a painting that Napoleon commissioned. This is the way Napoleon wanted history to remember him, albeit that Napoleon did cross the Alps, but he crossed on the back of a pack mule, not politically engaging. So Napoleon saw to it that his court painters, so to speak, painted the way, and we look at them now and we know that it's a propagandizing instrument. But with the exception of that, art is truth. And I'm not the first to say that. I know someone like Keats, but that's all we know and all we need to know, or something along the lines of that.
Consider this, for example, Henry. I once spent an afternoon at the museum. One of my personal favorites is Van Gogh. I could never take my eyes off from looking at Van Gogh's chair, his bedroom, and the shoes.
Yeah.
And of course, Starry Nights. My friend, who is educated, became dead on these artworks. I did not even know where to begin to develop an interest in these pieces of work. What must I do? Help me, Henry.
First of all,
enable.
Van Gogh, it's part of my lifeblood at this point in my life. To me, the shoes, the room, the sunflowers, to me,
the
chair, all right, got it. Every painting by Vincent is a self-portrait. A student, this happened about 2 years ago. I can tell you the student's name, because she may have been one of your classes too. But her term paper, she equated a particular painting by Claude Monet and the music of Maurice Ravel.
Amazing.
And she equated a painting by Vincent with the music of Arnold Schoenberg. We're in the right place at the right time.
At the right time.
That's for sure. But we recently created what we call art history topics at Berkeley. I had one recently, which I call Picasso, Joyce, Stravinsky. All three of them were living and working and loving in Paris at the same time. It's all the 1920s, the 1930s. And, the connection that these people had, because it's modernity. This is really the beginning of the modern world. I mean, it's modern music with Stravinsky, modern literature with Joyce, modern painting with Picasso.
Modern poetry with Baudelaire.
Oh, well, they're all right there. They're all learning from each other. I think, to get back to what you're saying, I think that's another point. As you know, I'm just back from Barcelona, and I finally found a restaurant. I won't mention this name because I want to keep it to myself, but it's a restaurant where Picasso and Salvador Dali and Georges Braque and Toulouse-Lautrec all gathered together.
Amazing. You found the restaurant.
Drawings and pictures all around by these artists. they had a community. It was a real community. I think there's a disparateness that we're losing, you know, the kind of the communal atmosphere. And what you're saying about your friend who, did you use the word dead with Vincent? Ask your friend what he sees, what she sees when they're looking at it. There's so much happening. I'm also a painter, and I think about, well, I don't know how many years ago, I realized that I was much better at talking about painting than I am about painting itself. But I know the technique, and I know the labor that goes into it, and the pain, and I was talking about Oskar Kokoschka, this work at the Museum of Fine Arts, which is called Two Nudes, is painted at a time that he's going through this abject trauma. His beloved has left him, his beloved Alma Mahler, widow to Gustav Mahler. And the painting, I look at the brushstrokes and I feel, oh, that great angst. Isn't it a great word? Angst. And then it twists that way.
I see.
Just, the word hurts. It hurts to say the word. It hurts to read the word. And then, but I look at that painting and I understand. Yeah, I've been around the pagoda a couple of times. I understand what the man is feeling, what the man is saying. I know that sounds arrogant,
No, it
but
doesn't.
I've 35 years. That's a long time. That's more than half. No, I'm trying to think. It's a long time. And I know that painting. It's like that Greco portrait I told you about, of Fray Felix. It's a painting that a friend made of a friend. And these men are both so disconcerted. They're men of great spirit and spirituality. And they're living at the time, you go back to Dr. O again, they're living at the time of the Spanish Inquisition.
I see.
And here's Fray Felix is a monk who has dedicated his life to the betterment of humanity and sees himself in the midst of this horror. And it hurts. There's some works of art that hurt. And I never subscribed to the theory that a work of art has to have a universal appeal.
I see.
I don't feel that way.
You don't
In the same way that, we might feel differently. I mean, as you would presume, I'm an Irish whiskey drinker. Scotch is okay, but it's the Irish whiskey.
We yet have to do that, by the way. Oh. I'm waiting for the invitation.
I did tell you that the Irish word for water is whiskey. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Oh, now you do. Good. But now there's it could be, our environment, our contemporary ambiance, our emotional state or lack of an emotional state at a particular time that I feel is going to affect the way that we respond to a work of art. When I'm talking about a work of art, again, that's a poem, a song. Stephen Sondheim, when Cleo Lane does Stephen Sondheim, it hurts. I mean, it hurts. Or Cole Porter. I was talking about the Kokoschka painting, and there's a song by Cole Porter. Every time we say goodbye, I cry a little. Every time we say goodbye.